Aleksandra's at Swim for Tri in Canary Wharf, undergoing a swim analysis. Dan Bullock's assessing her ability so she can improve her technique. So far, she's learnt that swimming in an endless pool is harder than it looks, and Dan's picked up on a rather wayward stroke. So after a few tips, it's time for another go.
Working better already. As you can see, I've had to increase the speed just as she's being a little bit more propulsive. Yeah, it's so easy to send water in a direction that's not going to help you, but once you get it right, then up she comes, starts to make good progress, even though the water's pushing her back. But the improved streamline and paddling the water in a far more beneficial position is really helping. Traditional swim coaching is so difficult. From the surface, from the pool side, we would look at Aleksandra here in the water, and you would think, right, nice and long, nice high elbow, turning to breathe to both sides. Very little wrong with that, but with the underwater imagery, we've just found so much that was holding her back, stopping her from swimming smoothly with a sustainable stroke. Most people are unsure what's wrong. That, you know, often we hear, I'm just nervous. I'm just can't get any faster. It tires me out quicker. I'm not sure when to get the breath in. You know, general vague comments, and it generally comes down to just, you know, the disparity between what's happening and what you're thinking is happening, and it's massive in terms of, you know, being in the pool and what's really happening. You know, cycling or running, you can have a quick sneaky look in a shop window and have a reasonable idea of what it looks like. So people are generally unsure of what's wrong, but very quickly it's easily to identify, and half the time we sit back and the swimmer coaches themselves almost, you know, they're intrigued by what it looks like and they can see what's going wrong.
Oh God, yes. Where are those arms going?
All right. So, from the little bit of theory we've discussed, okay, can you point out something good? I can see something.
Okay, and then I'm rolling.
Yeah, a little bit of rotation, that's good. You're getting up onto your side. Some of the not so good things, what are you seeing there?
Wide arms.
Yeah, we weren't exaggerating.
No.
What shouldn't I be able to see from this angle in terms of a nice streamlined position?
You shouldn't be able to see my feet, or rather my legs going all over the place.
Yeah.
And also
a lot less leg kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Let's go back to that one. Okay. You can see how whether it's.
Yeah, you can see a lot of kicking. I didn't think I was kicking that much actually.
It's an amazing thing. People, I hear this all the time.
It's noticeable what you said. If you get yourself streamlined, you feel like you're really slicing through. But if you're not, you really.
If you think about all those things that are chipping away at that, you know, 100% efficiency, pushing down instead of sending the water backwards, that's going to add a few strokes per length. If the legs are breaking out of streamline, it's going to add a few strokes per length. So before you know it, 25, 27 strokes quite comfortably. So we're always looking to just, you know, streamline, hold together, make it all as fluid as possible. Okay, good stuff.
How's my arm recovery? Well,
that's looking quite good. But again, you've got to take this in the context of the other angles. There's no point finishing your stroke all the way through and down to here if the hand is slicing or if the fingers are wide apart. It's still not helping. So we'll go back to the other angles and double check that. Okay.
And then you pull, as you pull with the elbow, then you come under the body.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You'd never jump out of a swimming pool in this sort of position, would you? It would never work. It's not good use of the levers or your strength. But if you bring the hands in somewhere, you know, here, it's going to recruit a lot of the fibers through the lats, through the triceps, and here's how you'd push out. So here to here, and then there's a slight skull out at the back of the stroke. You know, that's sort of that fluid movement all the way through. It's not as big as a lot of people think, or maybe it's that, again, it's that disparity. But often we see people doing too much of that.
Yeah,
where
it's just a shallow.
It's a lot shallower. Yeah, absolutely. Again, if you read that in a textbook, you know, it's likened to a keyhole or a question mark, but there's no real way to determine how much. And as you felt, if you push out all the way,
it's too much.
It's too much, exactly.
All the coaching and watching herself on screen is beginning to pay off. Aleksandra is improving her catch and is starting to get into a comfortable rhythm.
It's amazing. I mean, within 30 seconds, we've already told her, and she's managed to correct a lot of them. There's still a few wide pulls. I mean, obviously, we're fighting against years and years of inbuilt, you know, repetitions and just the muscles wanting to do it. They don't want to change. The brain's, you know, it's all lazy. The brain wants to do what it's comfortable with. The muscles don't want to change. Swimming is almost cruel in that, you know, the amount of effort and energy you put into it, you're not guaranteed to get a fair result back without decent coaching, without analysis. Running, cycling to a greater or lesser extent, you know, you put some miles in, you put some effort in, and you're going to improve. You're going to lose a little bit of weight, burn some calories, get faster, get stronger. Swimming, as we've seen so easily, because of the alien environment, it's so easy to get it incredibly wrong, and you may never ever improve just by, you know, trial and error. There's just an awful lot to it. The medium, it's 1,000 times denser than air. It needs to be molded, shaped. You need to be streamlined. You need to learn what's correct. You need to understand what drag is. Somebody a little cheeky, but fairly accurate, said to me, well, it's just O-level physics, isn't it, really? You know, propulsion and drag. I said, well, yeah, you know, we swim coaches, we'd like to dress it up with our fancy drills names, but I guess that is. But obviously, you've got to put that into practice, and the drills will help that. Now, without putting any pressure on my finger, okay, without bending the wrist, how are you going to get your fingertips underneath your elbow? That's it, yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so the elbow can go wide, but I just don't want it to go backwards or down from the shoulder. Okay, try that again. Fantastic, that's it. Okay. Now try both together. Look at the symmetry of that, feel that. All right, fantastic. Hopefully we've generated an awareness of what drag is and an improved streamlined position. We didn't touch on it that much, but just being in the water, I mean, the feedback was, oh, I could feel when I was a little bit more stable. I could feel when I wasn't being knocked around so much. So that's starting to take shape, even though we didn't really focus on that. Channeling the water in such a way that you start to create a lot more propulsion is essential. The leg kick wasn't too bad. It was a lack of control and there was a little bit of splaying, but just a little tidy up here and there. And basically that catch position, stop pushing the water down, start to send it backwards. And I think we got that message home pretty well. I'll follow up with some drill suggestions and some exercises to do. A little bit of work needs to be done on the legs. As we outlined, it looked more like the wide arm pull was throwing the legs around rather than a lack of body control, core stability, holding a good front crawl leg kick together. But there's no reason why we can't accelerate and do both at the same time. You can't really get your arms any longer, but you can manipulate the way the body accelerates itself through the water with drills. So, you know, it's a good way of improving, absolutely.
I thought I was doing that, but obviously wasn't doing that. How wrong can you be?
The camera doesn't lie.
I can see my destiny.